Hi everyone, welcome back to Kalal English Sport, where we make sports your English classroom. Today we're going to learn English using the exciting commentary from the Euro 2024 match between Switzerland and Italy. Let's dive into the key moments and the fantastic words of Peter Drury. Let's start with the first half, where Switzerland showcased their brilliant strategy and execution. And here is how Peter Drury described it. We are in the 37th minute, and Remo Freuler, there he is, he scored the opening goal of the match. And Peter Drury said, Remo Freuler, by the way, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. If not, I apologize. That was fabulously smooth. Therefore, in this case, the phrase fabulously smooth means very skillful and elegant. In other words, the goal scored by Remo Freuler was very skillful and elegant. Now let's take a look at examples by using the phrase fabulously elegant. On our screen, we read, the player made a fabulously smooth pass. Therefore, I think it was Vargas who passed the ball to Freuler. And do you see the ball? Therefore, the player, in this case, Vargas, he made a fabulously smooth pass, which means the pass was made with great skill and elegance from Vargas. Now let's take a look at another example with a completely different context. On our screen, we see a lady dancing. So we can say, oh, her dance moves were fabulously smooth. It indicates that her dance was graceful and skillful because we used the phrase fabulously smooth. Now let's try to repeat this phrase together. Fabulously smooth, which means very skillful and elegant. Very good. Then Peter Drury added, it's everything that Switzerland deserve. It means Switzerland played well and they earned the goal through their hard work. By the way, I'm not quite sure if I pronounced this correctly, but we will pretend like I did. Now let's try to use this phrase, everything that Switzerland deserve, into a sentence. So we can say, after months of preparation, the team got everything they deserved. It means the team's hard work. In this case, Peter Drury is not talking about Italy. Instead, he's talking about Switzerland. Therefore, the team's hard work paid off. Let's take a look at another example. His promotion was everything he deserved after years of dedication. This phrase indicates that his hard work was rewarded because he got promoted. Maybe we're talking about this guy or this man. Therefore, we can say his promotion was everything he deserved to indicate that his hard work was rewarded. Now let's practice this phrase together. Which phrase, you may ask? This phrase, everything that Switzerland deserve. Let's say it one more time together. Everything that Switzerland deserve. Now moving into the second half, where the action intensified right from the start, and here is what Peter Drury said about the key moments. By the key moments, I mean the goal scored in the 46 minutes. Just 30 seconds into the second half, here is Ruben Vargas. He scored the second goal, and Peter Drury said, Vargas beauty. Beauty here means something very impressive, which means his goal was very impressive and we were impressed. Now let's try to use the word beauty in different sentences. This is going to be our first example. That goal was a beauty, meaning the goal scored by Vargas was very impressive. Now let's take a look at our second example by using the word beauty. Let's say we want to talk about a lady who is a painter and we want to talk about her paintings. Therefore, we can say her painting is a real beauty. It indicates that the painting is very impressive. Now let's try to practice this phrase together. Beauty. Beauty. It means something very impressive. Then Peter Drury said the following, and he's still talking about Vargas's goal. That's a Swiss diamond. In this case, Swiss diamond is a metaphor comparing Vargas to a precious gem, meaning he's very valuable to the team. Now let's try to use the phrase Swiss diamond into a sentence. On our screen, we can see he is the Swiss diamond of the team, which means at this point, Vargas, he is a very valuable player. Let's take a look at another example. Over here, we can see, or let's try to read this. She is the diamond of our company, which indicates that this employee is very valuable, or is a very valuable employee to the company. Now let's try to practice the phrase. Let's go back to our original comment made by, not this one, made by Peter Drury. Therefore, our phrase is going to be Swiss diamond. Let's try to practice let's try to practice this phrase together. Swiss diamond. Swiss diamond, which means very valuable. In this case, Swiss diamond is Vargas, and he is, it means he's a very valuable player. Next, Dury continued. Barely half a minute into the second half, and they have climbed most of the mountain into the quarterfinals of Euro 2024. In this sentence, the phrase climbed most of the mountain is a metaphor. It means they have achieved most of their goal. In this case, their goal was to qualify or to go through the quarterfinals of Euro 2024. Now let's take a look at different examples by using the phrase climbed most of the mountain. They have climbed most of the mountain to reach the quarterfinals. The Swiss, they have almost achieved their goal of achieving the finals. Why are we saying almost? Because the game is not over yet. We are at, I think, at the 46 minutes. Now let's take a look at another example. Over here, we can see that she has climbed most of the mountain towards her degree. This statement indicates that she is close to achieving her degree or getting her degree. Now let's try to practice the phrase together, our original phrase or the commentary made by Peter Drury. And that phrase is climbed most of the mountain. Climbed most of the mountain, which means they achieved most of their goal. Then another commentator added the following, and he said, nobody picks him up. Look, not an Italian defender anywhere near, and that is an absolute beauty. First, we will take a look at the phrase not an Italian defender anywhere near. What does it mean, and what is he referring to? So from our screen, okay, so here is Vargas, and we see the Italian defenders over here, right? So the Italian players are here and over here. So the phrase not an Italian defender anywhere near, it means no Italian defender were close enough to stop Vargas from kicking the ball into the net. I hope you guys understand what this phrase means. Now let's try to use the phrase not an Italian defender anywhere near into a sentence. For example, we can say not a defender anywhere near him. It means no defenders were close to the player or to Varga in this case. So let's take a look at another example. Over here, we can read not a person in sight. It indicates that there is no one around. Of course, the defenders are around here, but they were not near him. And he had space to shoot the ball and score the second goal. Therefore, let's go back to the original comment made by the other commentator and try to practice the phrase together. Say it with me. Not an Italian defender anywhere near. One more time. Not an Italian defender anywhere near. Good job. After he told us that not a single Italian defender was near him. Okay, let me take it back. Yeah, okay, so after he told us that not a single Italian defender was anywhere near Varga, he told us how beautiful the goal was, God. He said, and that is an absolute beauty. In this case, absolute beauty means something extremely impressive. Therefore, let's try to use this phrase into a sentence. For example, we can say, oh, that goal, how was it? It was an absolute beauty, which means the goal was extremely impressive. Or let's take a look at one more example. Okay, so over here we see a gymnast, and if we want to say some words about her performance, we can say her performance was an absolute beauty, indicating her performance was extremely impressive because we used the phrase an absolute beauty. Therefore, her performance was an absolute beauty. Now let's repeat this phrase together. Absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. The commentator also said no chance for Donnarumma. Donnarumma is the Italian goalkeeper, therefore the phrase no chance means there was no possibility for success. In this case, there was no possibility for Donnarumma to stop the ball from going in. He had no chance. Now let's try to use the phrase no chance into a sentence. Therefore, let's read this. He had no chance to save the shots. So, do you see the ball? Here is the ball, it's in motion, and here is Donnarumma. Therefore, if we say he had no chance to save the shots, it means it was impossible for Donnarumma to save the shot or to save the ball from going in. Let's take a look at another example. We're still going to use the phrase no chance. Therefore, we can read there was no chance of winning. It means or it indicates that there was no possibility of winning to the Italian team. Now, let's repeat this phrase together. No chance. No chance. Great job. So the phrase no chance means no possibility for success. Finally, he asked, you have to question. That's what he said. You have to question, is there any chance for Italy in this game? Is there any chance for Italy in this game? So in this case, the phrase is there any chance is asking if there is any hope left. For whom? For Italy in this game. Well, there was no hope, but he was asking a question. Therefore, now it's time for us to use the phrase any chance into a sentence. Therefore, we can say, is there any chance for a comeback? So if there was a chance for a comeback, Italy would have won, maybe, I don't know, 3-2 because they were behind 2-0, or they would have scored 2 goals and 30 minutes would have been added and we would have witnessed a penalty shootout, but there was no chance for a comeback because the game ended 2-0. Now, here is our second example with the phrase, is there any chance? So let's say you have an appointment with someone and you're saying, is there any chance they will arrive on time? Which means, is there any hope that the people you're waiting for will arrive on time? Now let's repeat the phrase together. Is there any chance? Means asking if there is any hope left. So at this point, the final whistle is blown, and as the final whistle blew, Switzerland emerged victorious, knocking out the reigning champions Italy. And here is what Peter Drury, Peter Drury's take on the end of the match. He said the following: "And the champions fall. Italy's reign is over." So when he said the champions fall, it means the winning team has been defeated, his team. And for the phrase Italy's reign is over, it means their time as champions has ended. Now it's time for us to use these phrases into a sentence. So here is our first example. The champions fall in the round of 16 match, which took place yesterday. So this phrase means that the winning team, in this case Italy, they were defeated in the round of 16 match. Let's take a look at our second example. Right now we can see Italy's reign is over after this defeat. It indicates their time as champions has ended after this defeat, because yesterday they were defeated 2-0 by Switzerland. Now let's repeat these phrases together. The first phrase is the champions fall. The champions fall. The second phrase is Italy's reign is over. Italy's reign is over, which means their time as champions has ended, or it has come to an end. Then he added, let me use my pen. Okay, so Switzerland for the second consecutive time are European Championship quarter finalists, and they were superb, just like clockwork. They had a plan, they executed it almost faultlessly. First, we will take a look at the phrase just like clockwork. It means something was done perfectly and on time, similar to the precision of Swiss watches. Faultlessly, on the other hand, it means without mistakes. Therefore, during yesterday's match, the Switzerland team did not concede any goals. They did not make a mistake. Therefore, they executed their role almost faultlessly. Now, let's take a look at different examples while trying to use this phrase, just like clockwork and the word faultlessly. So, for example, we can say, oh, okay, so the team executed their strategy just like clockwork. It means they followed their plan perfectly and on time. Let's take a look at the second example. The second example tells us that they played faultlessly throughout the game. It indicates that Switzerland made no mistakes during the game. Now let's repeat these phrases together. Just like clockwork. Let me use my pen. Just like clockwork. It means done perfectly and on time. The second word is faultlessly. Faultlessly, it means without any mistakes, without any errors. Finally, Peter Drury concluded Donnarumma, for all his breadth and height and excellence, was hopeless both times. And Italy, the champions of Euro 2024 and Euro 2024, Euro 2024 are no more. Switzerland march on, and they will be nobody's easy beat. This is a competition. No. What am I reading? This is a this is a competitive team worthy of its place in the last 8. Before we take a look at different examples, let's see what this, for instance, what this word means. Helpless means Donnarumma, he was unable to do anything to prevent the goal from going in. Therefore, if you say that someone is helpless, you're indicating the fact that the person was unable to do anything to prevent something from happening. The other phrase we're going to see is going to be are no more. It means they are no longer in the competition. And the third phrase we're going to take a look at is nobody's easy beat. It means they're not easy, or they're not an easy team to defeat. Now let's go and take a look at our examples. Therefore, the first example we're going to see is going to be about Donnarumma. The goalkeeper was helpless against the shot. Do you remember when Vargas shot the ball? Therefore, this phrase or this statement, the goalkeeper was helpless against the shot, it tells us that Donnarumma couldn't do anything to stop the shots. Now, let's take a look at our second example. Over here, we see the team are no more after the loss, indicating that the Italian team is no longer in the competition after losing to Switzerland. And this is going to be our final example. There are nobody's easy beat in this tournament. It means they are not an easy team to defeat in this tournament. Switzerland. Let's repeat the phrase. Okay, here we are. First, helpless. Helpless. It means unable to do anything to prevent something from happening. So Donnarumma was unable to stop the shots from going in. Are no more. Are no more means they are no longer in the competition. Italy are no more in the competition. The third one is going to be nobody's easy beat. It means they are not an easy team to defeat. Right now, Peter Drury is referring to Switzerland because Italy, they're already defeated by Switzerland. Well, this is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me today on Kalal English Sport. I hope you enjoyed learning English with the thrilling commentary from Switzerland versus Italy. Stay tuned for more exciting matches and English lessons. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Until next time, keep learning and enjoying football with Kalal English Sport.